Hey everyone, welcome back to All Talking Farms, and today we're going to be getting into a new video. And before we get into the video, please go on and click the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Let's go on and get into the video. Well, good evening everyone, welcome back to another beekeeping chat. Thank you all so much for joining in here. So just give me just a quick second. I'm going to put up my little thing there. Well, hello everyone, welcome back to another beekeeping chat. And as you can see, it is a different time slot for tonight. So it might take a second for some folks to get in here because I know some folks are used to 7 o'clock. But tonight I'm going to try 6 o'clock and see kind of how it goes. There's sometimes whenever I've been doing 7, going to 8, it's been a little late. So we'll see how, everything goes tonight. I may, just bring back, the slot down to 6 o'clock Central Time, going towards 7 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Central. That's right, 6 p.m. Central to 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Central. There we go. I'm getting mixed up in the times and everything. But if y'all would, make sure to smash the thumbs up button. We'll have to let some folks have some time to get in here. Like I said, a little different time tonight. So make sure y'all will share the stream out on on your social medias, just to let people know that it's a different time tonight for my beekeeping chat. So I see we already have some good folks in here, some very familiar names. Tonight's chat is about October beekeeping tips, things we need to be doing in October. This goes for new beekeepers, beekeepers who are experienced. Every beekeepers, this can help everybody. So that's going to be the topic for tonight. I have some other things planned as well. So looks like Russell got the first spot. So congratulations. Good evening, Russell. Thanks for checking in. Mike Tangway. So thanks for checking in, Mike. Good to see you. Brian Bennett. Hope your bees are ready for winter. That's what we're going to be talking about a little bit later. I'm going to show temperatures too. After we get through some more of the names. It's been a little bit more cooler down here, I will say. It's just been a little bit more cooler. Tim and Hannah, Gunline Bees. DC's Bees, Dave, thanks for checking in. We got 10 folks on here. We've got to give some people some time. Maybe it'll work better for you, Grayson. Don't want to keep you up late with schoolwork and all. Yep, I think so too. We do homeschool, so I'm thinking this time might be a little bit better and, a better little time slot. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe I don't really think it'll be any different than 7 o'clock. It's just a little bit earlier. So I think it'll work out fine. So let me pull up temperatures here real quick. This is, I don't know about y'all's, but this is kind of the week from today, which is Monday, October 20th. This is going towards next Monday as well. Today was 77 degrees. Tomorrow is supposed to be 82. Still very nice weather. As you can see, you probably want to kind of look more on. I'm looking more at the lows. Yes, yeah, but still has schoolwork too. The lows, 48. Today, 50 on Tuesday, Wednesday, 45, Thursday, 48. So we're getting more into the 40s for our lows. The highs and the lows are kind of pretty pretty even, but the highs, as you can see, today 77, tomorrow 82, Wednesday 77, Thursday 79, Friday is going to be 80, Saturday, this upcoming Saturday on the weekends will be 79, Sunday 78, and then next Monday it will be 80 degrees. So pretty even for temperature wise. It's gonna be really nice, and our bees are loving it. This morning was much cooler than it has been in a little while. I was a little chilly, to be honest, but the bees were really busy today and flying. Not really a whole lot going on that's worth filming. That's why back-to-back Saturdays, which y'all kind of know, I usually do my vlog videos on Saturday mornings at 10:30, 11 o'clock. Just nothing really interesting worth filming that I really didn't have anything to film out there. So I just kind of been a little while without a video. Might not really have a video for this weekend either. But I am doing a live stream. So I'm using the live stream just to kind of tell what's going on. Now the bees haven't been in the bees for a week. Maybe last week is when I last time got into them. Still the same. They're still looking good. We're still letting them kind of build up. That's really what's going on. But this upcoming weekend, what would it be? The 20. So this upcoming Sunday, I don't know exactly what day that would be. I think that's going to be the 26th. That I plan to do some do a extraction on the 26th, which is a Sunday. So that's my plan, and I'll be able to do a video about it, and I'll finally get a video out. So that's kind of the plan for the upcoming weeks. But as we know, it's already the topic for tonight is October, and so we're getting close to November, October 20th. So we're really close to November. So November / October tips. Hey Sarah, thanks for checking in. Good evening, Grayson. Hello to everyone listening while I wash dishes. Thanks for watching, for checking in. It's that time of the year, not much beekeeping to do if we have done our jobs well. That's right. That's why not much videos. I've not really a whole lot going on, which is probably a good thing for me. Nothing really crazy kind of going on. If something really crazy is going on, it's probably not the best thing. So this upcoming weekend, I plan to do my extraction. Grayson, fall beekeeping tips. That's right. It's fall beekeeping tips, October tips, November tips. You can kind of the same thing. Final fall tips. Yeah, it's pretty much the final things that beekeepers need to be doing. It's pretty much like the last second, because a lot of our stuff, a lot of things probably should have already been done. Maybe a couple weeks ago. Or still doing it right now. It just depends on where you're located, because a lot of folks, might live in the north, which I live down here in southeastern Alabama, so it's much different. Our temperatures, our region, a lot of things that are different. So I can't really, not really familiar with the northern seasons. I've talked with a lot of northern beekeepers. I've spoke with them. They kind of tell me what goes on. I can take their word for it, because they're the ones who are living the cold weather up there in the north. I don't think I could do that with all the snow all the time, because we had a little bit of snow last year, and man, it was just, we weren't really used to it. But without further ado, I want to welcome Pastor Larry and Miss Jan. Thanks for checking in. And Nuts Honey Chris, thanks for checking in too. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I will answer those later. But for now, I will be doing my presentation, so I won't really be looking at the chat box. So if somebody is saying stuff, I probably won't be able to see your comment. I do see a real quick comment by DC, so I will real quick answer that. Grayson, you're still getting warm in the day. Are your bees finding stuff? We are in the mid 60s here on a sunny day, 40s at night already, and the rain is starting. Well, actually, Sunday, when you're talking about rain, actually rained on Sunday morning whenever I woke up, but it really didn't do anything, honestly. I mean, it's just been super dry, not much rain. I mean, we really haven't had rain in probably a month and a half, till yesterday. But today and even some of yesterday afternoon, not much of a difference. And it was pouring too, so I was really surprised. It's just been really, really dry. Um, we are still getting warm days. Still getting warm days during the day. So today the high was 77, so the bees are still flying. Now if there's still stuff out there, we still have goldenrod blooming right now. I actually been kind of looking around. It's kind of starting to wind down. You can kind of look by the color of the goldenrod. The goldenrod color just kind of starts to turn more into a brownish color. You can look at the goldenrod blooms, and it's just you can tell it's starting to wind down, but we still have probably a little bit coming in, but we're really getting towards the end. It usually ends late October, early November. Around that time is when our goldenrod usually ends. It's good that you got some rain. Do you have any blooms at the moment? At the moment, we do have some blooms. A lot of it, like I said, is kind of starting to wind down. I mean, I wish I did take a picture of it, of kind of what it's looking like, but we still have some blooms. The goldenrod is still blooming, but it is kind of winding down. It's getting towards that time. Hey, Richard, thanks for checking in. All right, so I'm going to start out with my presentation. If y'all are saying stuff, if you're asking questions, I'm not trying to, ignore you or anything. Don't take it that way. I'm just not. I don't have my. I don't really. I'm on a different page for the presentation, so I'm not really seeing what you are saying. But if you do say something, I can go back up into the chat and I can answer your questions or anything else that you may say. So then I can um, keep up with the chat. So October beekeeping tips, like DC said, you can say October tips, final fall beekeeping tips, whatever you really wanted to call it. It's kind of what this is. So October is kind of late in the year, as we all know. It's kind of same stuff. You do want to assess your colony strength. Just make sure, go over them, do some inspections, and look at your colonies and make sure they're strong and they are strong and healthy. Health and strength is really important. You you probably should have already kind of been in the direction of doing this a couple weeks ago, but if you haven't yet, especially down here in the south, you still have a little bit of time to do so. But a lot of it should have already been done, which I'm sure most of the beekeepers who are watching my chat, you guys are probably already ahead of the game. So you want to check the brood pattern and queen strength, because whenever you're going into winter, you don't have drones, so a queen can't get mated if you lose her. So if she's not strong, you might want to replace her. But right now, I don't know if you can replace her. It is a little bit getting late into the year. I have seen many beekeepers, who can sell late season queens. I actually bought some late season queens 2 years ago, and did fine, looked good. Those colonies aren't alive, unfortunately. They were just too weak. So you probably can buy some queens. She probably could get mated, but it's just kind of late in the year. It's really not ideal. Not really ideal situation, but you do want to make sure she is strong. Make sure the brood pattern is good. Um, Basic stuff that every beekeeper does when they inspect their colonies to make sure their colony is healthy. Want to make sure you have frames covered with bees. Obviously, you want strong colonies. Um, Bees covered on the frames. A lot of times down here, you can get away with smaller colonies. There is a difference between smaller colonies and weak colonies. Weak colonies are when they have a high mite load, are weak, very, very small. But if you have a small colony, you can still get them through winter. I've gotten small colonies through winter. They just need to be healthy. I think this is the biggest one right now. With colony strength is to combine weak colonies. If you need to, it's really important if you have weak colonies, because I do want to mention that last year, going into same exact situation, going into winter, I had two colonies. One, I can't remember. I think one of them went queenless and one of them had a queen. So I combined them. So if you are in that situation, you want to combine a weak colony with a strong one. I remember doing that last year, and it was successful, and that colony is still living today. So it paid off. The colony that didn't have the queen was way too late. Couldn't get her replaced. Way too late to buy a queen, and drones are not really weren't in season at that time. And I think I did a video of it too a year ago, so you probably can. I really don't have the link for it, but you sometime later on in the couple weeks, if you want to, you can always go back and look at that. So combine weak colonies if needed. You want to keep your hives strong enough to overwinter. So there you go. Our I guess our main point: feeding and nutrition, which is probably the biggest thing right now, which most beekeepers are still doing. I will say for me right now, I actually am not feeding, and the reason why I'm not is I was pleasantly surprised with how our goldenrod flow did this year, because I had one colony. I did a video, my last video. I was able to go through the colony, and I didn't even feed them, and it looked like they were going. They just didn't have much room for any brood. A little bit of room, but man, they were packing it in full. So I just this goldenrod flow is really good, and might be all they need. But I do have fondant. I have feed for overwintering. So you want to ensure your hives have enough food stores. Inspect your colonies, make sure they have enough food stores. Feed 2-to-1 syrup until temps drop below 55 Fahrenheit. So if you're down into the 40s, 30s, it is not the best idea to feed sugar syrup. That's when you want to switch over to fondant. Most fondant is your best bet. I guess you can feed palm patties too. I'm gonna try some of the Hive Alive fondant this year. I have some of it, and they sent it to me, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. They sent it to me free, and I'm still very thankful. And I want to thank Hive Alive for doing that. I think it was like a month ago, and I'm still very thankful for them to send that out. I'm gonna try it this year and see how it works. Think it's gonna work out good. You want to avoid light feeding, prevent robbing. Usually this time of the year you have flows going on, so you probably don't have to worry much about robbing. Actually, depends on where you live. For me, I have a goldenrod flow in fall, a fall flow. A lot of folks don't have a fall flow. I know some folks who watch the channel. They always talk about that the fall that a fall flow is really nice, that they don't have it. So a lot of people don't have a fall flow, and I'm really glad that we have a fall flow, because it's really helped us. Varroa mite control. These are pretty much the basics up here. Everybody talks about it. Not going to go over this too much. Most people know everything about varroa mites. Varroa mites are talked about all the time. Of course, it is worth mentioning, but I think most people know where this is going. You want to treat your varroa mite loads. Make sure the loads aren't too high. The thresholds, sugar, alcohol washes. If you're a newbie here and you don't know much about beekeeping, I'll briefly share with you about thresholds. So let's just take 100 bees, shake them up in an alcohol wash. So it's just basically alcohol in a little shaker. You shake the bees, 100 bees in there, shake them up, and if you found 3 mites in there, that is a 3% mite infestation. That's kind of how you do your threshold. Sometimes beekeepers do it with 300 bees. You have to choose your treatment. A lot of times based on temperatures. I use like Apivar. It's been kind of my main thing. I like it. It's not based on temperature, so you can treat it no matter temperatures. It's kind of what I like about it. The con about it is it does sometimes, a lot of times the mites do get resistant to Apivar, which the main ingredient is amitraz. Hive inspections. So this time of the year, whenever you're doing your inspections, you don't have to pull up every single frame. You're just kind of looking for brood, food, and the queen. That's what your main focus should be on, is the health of the colony, make sure they have enough food. I've actually already been doing this, but remove the empty boxes or unused space. So if you have boxes on top, even if they are drawn out, if you just don't think they're going to get it done in time, if they're not going to draw it out in time, because I actually have a super right now on that they're drawing out. I don't think they're going to get it drawn out in time, so it's pretty much useless up top. So I'll probably take it off, let the bees rub out the excess honey, because it's like one frame of drawn out comb. It tells me that there's a goldenrod flow, so that's a good thing. So I'll, let the bees rub it out so there's no honey in there, and then put it away, and the bees can use it next year. So you want to remove those empty boxes, unused space. You want to keep inspections brief in cooler weather. You usually do not want to inspect your colonies under 65 degrees. You can inspect colonies. You can under a couple temps under 65, but 65 is the sweet line. You kind of want to do it a little bit above. It's a little kind of too chilly. You could chill your brood. Winter preparation. This is kind of where we get into some more. The stuff I just talked about is pretty basic stuff for newer beekeepers, that most of us beekeepers who are a little bit more experienced are already doing. This is where it really gets kind of important. A lot of it depends on where you're located, though, because a lot of times if you're up north, you're insulating your colonies because it gets really, really cold down here. There's no need to insulate because a lot of times it gets up to 70 degrees in December, and that's just going to overheat the colony, and you don't want that. So for the southern people, don't insulate your colonies unless if it's some historical cold weather, which usually don't happen. Usually southern people, you don't have to insulate your colonies, but if you are a northern beekeeper, you probably want to consider it. You don't have to, but it's probably a big consideration to take. Reduce your entrances, what I always do. Make sure they're small. Make sure they're not big entrances. You don't want to leave them all the way open. I mean, most beekeepers don't do that. You don't want to do that. Make sure to install mouse guards. I don't have mouse guards. I probably do need to get them because I do have some mice out in the bee yard around wintertime. Tilt hives forward for moisture drainage. We've talked about that before. You always want to tilt your hives just for moisture drainage. In warm regions, focus on airflow and small hive beetle control. Small hive beetles, nobody down here likes them, but most northern beekeepers don't have a problem with them. But a lot of times we do. But this year has been a better year. We haven't had that bad of a problem as previous years. Equipment maintenance. This time of the year, winter preparation. Great time to freeze drawn comb to stop wax moth, clean and store empty boxes and frames. It's a great time to repair broken gear during downtime, since we all know winter is pretty much the off season for beekeepers, the most boring time of the year. Nothing to do, nothing to talk about. What I basically do in the wintertime is come on here and talk about the next year. That's all. Not really a whole lot going on. So this time of that time of the year, winter is the best time to repair broken gear, build or paint new equipment for the upcoming year, and of course, like I said, to freeze drawn comb, to prevent wax moths, and clean and store empty boxes and frames. Always during winter, use that time wisely to be able to get equipment ready for next year. Planning ahead. Planning, man, planning is a big thing that you want to be doing right now. You always want to plan ahead, plan what you want to do, how you want to do things next year, the present. You want to keep records, some notes on your hive strength and traits. Start planning for spring splits and requeening if necessary next year, because a lot of beekeepers requeen their colonies in spring. Personally, I don't really requeen unless if the bees do so. This year, I actually had a colony who naturally requeened themselves, and the queen's looking good. So a lot of times the bees know when to do it. But requeening is good as well. So either way, do what you want to do, what you prefer. There's no bad way, really. You could requeen colonies or let them do what bees do. You want to order bees and queens early. Usually, you want to order them earlier if you're a new beekeeper who's wanting to buy new bees. Most times you have to order them early. You can't just wait till spring comes, because then you're not gonna you're not you probably a lot of beekeepers will take orders, but you're not gonna be in the first in line. You'll be a little bit more back, because there's a lot of people who order bees and queens from suppliers early in winter, pre-orders, getting them ready, so then they'll be the first one to get those bees. And also review lessons from this season. Learn from mistakes, learn from things that you didn't do well, learn from the season if something didn't go right. Now, this year it's been a good year for me. I've learned a lot. All right, key takeaways. You want to prepare hives for winter success. Strong health, low mite colonies survive. Avoid over inspecting at cold temps. That one right there, number 3 of our key takeaways, is super big. This time of the year, don't overdo it. Be intentional. Don't overdo your inspections. It's just, there's no need to. And it does more harm than good. Just keep them short, sweet, simple. Get right in there. Do what you need to do. Just check for food. Check for, brood. Check for the queen. And get out. And then close up the colony. In cooler weather, like I said, 65 degrees. Make sure, if you're a new beekeeper, if you're listening right now, make sure to not inspect under 65 degrees. You might get away with, you could do it around 63 degrees, but it's probably better to do it over 65 degrees to inspect. You could risk, chilling the brood in cooler weather. And fall prep equals strong start next spring. So there you go. Thanks for watching this presentation. I appreciate y'all. Don't go anywhere. We are not ending. I still have some more things planned for tonight. Let's see here. There we go. Now let me go back, see what we got. If y'all would, make sure to share this out. I appreciate that. And make sure to smash that thumbs up button. If you smash that like, it really does help the live stream out, get out to more folks. Now, if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm just kind of going through the comments to see what people were saying. Do a lot of your bees... Oh, hey, this is a good question. Do a lot of your bees fly in the 40s or 50s? These cruddy slash carny slash Caucasian weather bees seem to not care about cool and clouds all that much. My bees do fly in 50-degree weather. I see it a lot. Not a whole lot of bees. It's not really that many bees. It's not like right now during the day, but in those 40s and 50s, I do see that my bees do fly. They will fly. Mine are bringing in a good bit of pollen. They continue to surprise me. Hey, Matt, at Sandy Valley Honey Company, thanks for checking in. So we got 20 folks in here tonight, and I'm sure a lot of you are probably kind of recognize that this time is a little different. So I'm thinking I might probably going to start switching to 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Because I think it might just be a little bit better. I think for y'all might let me know if y'all rather one time over the other, but this time might be better because there is another channel who does go live on Monday night. So, a lot of folks are over there. So I kind of don't really want to be in the same time slot. So I figured might just move back to 6, just be kind of like a opening act or something. And then everybody can catch this and then go on 2 other chats. So that's kind of and it's just been a little bit late, going from 7 to 8. And this might be a little bit more easier. So I think I am going to starting at 6 o'clock, go to 7. Might work out nicely. But thanks for checking in, Matt. I'm feeding honey fondant to bees / stupid mouse, but the bees are eating it up fast. Yep, mice, man. I haven't had that problem, but I know in one of the chats, I remember you mentioning something about your mice was getting into some type of comb, I think is what it was. But yeah. Let's see. Hey, Keith at Half Tracks and Honeybees. Thanks for checking in tonight. Need to put mouse screens on a few of mine. Yeah, I do need to get some some mice strains. I think that would be very beneficial. Do I need an additional mouse guard if I already have the entrance reducers on the smallest opening? That's a good question. Well, mice can get through really tiny cracks. So I think you should be okay with that tiniest one, but mice do get through very small cracks. Let's see. Great job, Grayson. I appreciate the info as a new beekeeper. Thank you. I mean, I couldn't do this without y'all, so I appreciate you watching. Did you get your new post stands put in yet? Not yet. Man, that's been on my mind too. I mean, I just haven't got around to doing that. So I actually already have one built, and I'm probably going to build more, and that's probably what I'm going to use a lot of the winter for. The winter time would probably be the best time, maybe, to kind of start switching to stands, because if y'all know, I have some colonies on some pallets, and man, those pallets are rotten, and I need to get them off of those pallets in the next couple of weeks. So I might use some of this off time where there's not a whole lot to do to get those in there and start moving them. Later always works better for me with 4 kids. I get you. There you go. I got through all the comments. If y'all would, if you have any more questions, feel free to put them in there. Make sure to smash that like button or sting it. All right, so I'm gonna go through my topics real quick and see if I have anything else to mention. So we already talked about the weather. There you go. There's the weather forecast for at least for down here in southeastern Alabama. That's the forecast. I actually already showed that earlier, but for some of you new folks in here who are kind of joining in a little bit later, that's kind of what it looks like. A little cooler temperatures, but very, very nice temperatures. So today, 77 degrees. No chance of rain all week. Again, no rain. I've already mentioned that too. That we haven't really had any rain. Like I said yesterday, we had some rain, but just a little bit. Nothing really big. Nothing that really made a huge difference. It's already all dry out there. So it looks like no rain, but very nice weather next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 80, 79, 78. Let's see. So tonight, the low is 48. Kind of cold. I got a mouse in my capping honey. 40 pounds of crystallized honey became bee food. I think I'm going to put in 3 or 4 of those single post stands like you use. I think you'll like them. I really do enjoy them. I plan to put more out there because you can. It's just I keep them kind of a little high up, kind of right around my height, so it's easy to inspect. People, I think somebody mentioned a couple years ago, maybe that they look like barbecue stands, and now that you kind of think about it, it kind of does look like a little barbecue stand with the single posts. So I actually did. I've been forgetting to mention this. I tried to mention it last week, but I'll mention it this week. So today is October 20th, and so 3 years ago was actually my first live stream. If y'all remember that, y'all, I'm sure, Dave, I think you were here, and I think some other folks were in here as well. So on October 16th of last year, so not the same day, but kind of similar, it was 3 years ago when I started doing these live streams. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Very, very long time when I've been doing these live streams with guests and myself. We're headed down to the 30s tonight. Gonna be setting my ladies up for winter before long. Wow, down to the 30s. Like I said, yep, it's getting that time of year again. October, look, September flew by fast, October flew by fast, and here we are already getting ready for winter. And look, I think somebody mentioned it last week. I think it was Dave or somebody else. I can't remember who, but winter's coming before we know it. It'll be here, and the next year will be here before we know it. So that's why important to start planning for next year. I kind of want to talk about my plans, and y'all can let me know what y'all's plans are if you have plans of kind of what y'all want to expand to. So a lot of the topic tonight about the tips was about, kind of planning, as y'all saw kind of later in the presentation. Hey, Lee, down there in Louisiana. Been a little while since I've seen you, so it's really good to see you. Thanks for checking in tonight. So, like I mentioned, we're kind of talking about planning. Planning is really big, planning, figuring out what the plan is going to be for next year. So y'all can let me know what y'all's plans are. But my plan for now is going to be getting through winter first. I mean, getting these bees prepped on up, getting them into winter strong, healthy, get them out of winter, But I really want to at least come out of winter with 10. That's my goal. Come out with 10. And this year, I tripled my numbers. So I tripled from 4 to 13, and that's where I'm at right now. Right now, that's the keyword right now. And look, you're going to lose colonies during winter. It's bound to happen. You're going to have a colony or two that, that doesn't make it. You just have to kind of, you can't, what's the word? You can't really dwell on that, forever. Just, kind of, it's that happens all the time. It's happened to me a lot too. So I was able to triple this year, 4 to 13, and I believe I can do that again next year. If I can come out with winter, I'm happy to come out into spring with 9 to 10 colonies. I'm perfectly fine with that. 9, 10, 11. I'd be happy with all 13. We'll see. Make sure they're strong, and going to try to triple again. And I'm probably going to use the same formula that I used this year next year. So this year, the formula was double deeps, 5-frame split. So therefore, I got 4 colonies out of 1. I'm going to try to do that again. Going to try to triple. And I can get up to, I think I can, next year, if I do what I need to do, if I do everything right, if I do everything like I did this year, then I can get up to 20, maybe 25. And then, that cycle keeps on. Last year had tremendous success with that formula. What I did was I basically put a double deep colony, 5-frame splits, and those splits did amazing. And what was crazy too was a lot of those splits, a lot of them swarmed. One swarmed, and then they got themselves a queen back, and so even those splits, when I split them, it swarmed again. But I wasn't able to capitalize on that, on the swarms, or wasn't able to get them because they went up too high and lost them. So if I was able to kind of catch them, I'd probably have more colonies. But it's okay. You lose some of the swarms and you catch some of them. Looks like Keith is taking 26 into winter. I'm at 25 right now. 1 is weak. Let's see here. I'm going to overwinter with, a lot of them are going to be singles, and then 1, 2 are going to be nukes, but the nukes look great. All 5 frames look strong and doing quite well. Hey, Jack and Danae, I missed you. Thanks for checking in tonight. By the time winter comes here, I'll be probably taking in 13. So I will say that this year has been one great year. I will say this year has been smooth, been precise, been a really great year for me. Probably my best year of my beekeeping career journey. Last year was good. I kind of fumbled a little bit last year, late, kind of lost some colonies. And then the year prior, man, 2023 was rough, a very rough year. I got up pretty big, but it just kind of collapsed. And I went in with winter with like 4 and came out with 1. So then I came out of that 2024 season, came out with 1, got 6 nukes, got up to 7. I got up to, I think, like 12 or 10 or somewhere around there. And then around August, September, and October, went all the way back down to 6 and came out with 4. So this year's been one of the better years. I was surprised how smooth the dearth was. It wasn't that bad of a dearth, honestly. And man, right when that goldenrod flew, man, it had a big effect on my bees. I tried to do splits way too late last year, and almost did the same thing this year, even though I stopped earlier. If I get you, I tried. I think a year ago, maybe doing a split later. Didn't really have success with it. The bees actually was trying to swarm, so I really had no choice to split them. It was like in August or September. This year, the bees were pretty smooth. They didn't want to swarm. I think they were already transitioning into winter. Next season, I'll do my round of splits and not push so late with them. So usually beekeepers down here can split around in February. I've mentioned that before. So February, March, April, and May is the times for splits. Last year I did my splits in April. I'm probably gonna do the same thing again. Let me look. I can go back to my video. I had 2 videos about the splits, and those videos did extremely well. So the first one was on April 5th. Now I really don't remember exactly when I did them because I had to edit the video. This is just when the video uploaded. But when I did it, I think I probably did it late March, early April. So around April is when I did the first round of splits. The second round of splits was April 19th. So I call it the first round of splits, was from one colony, double deep. So 1 to 4, 4 splits from one colony. And the second round, which is one colony, double deep again on April 19th. This is just when the videos were uploaded. Not exactly precise on when I did them. You probably can go back to the video. I'll probably put timestamps on it on the date. I'm not going to do that right now, though. Go through it. My late splits are doing okay, but not near as well as the first round. I noticed that too, Dave. I noticed that a couple last year, my late splits didn't do as well as the earlier ones. The earlier ones had more time to build up to take advantage of the spring flow. I didn't do any splits later. Like in August or September, which I've done that before. And the only reason why I did one in August was because, it was just, they wanted to swarm, so I really had no choice, but this year they didn't. 20s tonight for the low. Wow. So the bees are clustered for y'all. Wow. That is cold. So I guess y'all are already in winter. I would say, since y'all's loads is in the 20s. Now for y'all, I think Jack and Danae's in Wyoming, but for me down here, 20 degrees, it's in the middle of winter. Like that's our winter. But for y'all, I guess it's kind of like pretty much like for us, 40s, 30s is early winter, I would say. But for y'all, it might be a little bit different. For us, 20s are really, really cold. I couldn't imagine having to live through some of the weather y'all have to. No snow yet, though. That's right. I remember, wasn't a couple like a month ago on one of my live streams, y'all said that y'all had some snow come in. It was still like it was like in early October, late September or something. I think I can't really remember. Less boxes, more bees per box. So we got 16 more minutes on here tonight. If y'all have any more questions, feel free to put them in here. Tonight's been a very good chat, very good comments, and kind of back and forth dialogue. Not directly all around in the mountains. I get you. Let's see here. So if y'all would, make sure to click that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Share it out if you will. If you haven't smashed the like button, I appreciate it if you do. So I guess some final things I'm wanting to do this year. Really not a whole lot. I'm going to go out there probably tomorrow and check. I haven't been out there in a little while, just been a touch busy with things, and just haven't had the time to go out there. Last time I went out there, everything was smooth. Not a whole lot going on this time of the year. It is the most. It is the most. Really, to me, it's the most important time of the year. Just not really a whole lot going on. Spring is important too for the success of the for fall and for fall and winter. But fall is really important to get the bees ready for the winter season. Next to Lake Erie here, and the water is still warm enough to swim. I don't know if the water in the lakes around here is still warm to swim. Might be. I need a windbreak for a friend's hive that is out in the open. Any suggestions? Hey, I actually mentioned that earlier in my live stream in the little presentation. It really didn't. I'm glad you brought that up because I really didn't go into detail about that. And wind blocks really are important, to block wind if your bees are in the open. What I know a lot of beekeepers will do, will set their colonies behind buildings, but a lot of people don't have that option. I see that a lot, but many people don't have buildings or houses, and they don't want to send them too close to the houses, which I don't have my bees close to the houses. They're kind of in open or around trees. I would probably say whatever folks are going to say, bales of straw, hay bales. So since that's probably what I would do if I were you. Now for me, we don't have that cold of temperature, so I've never really been that much into wind blocks since we're down here in the south, so we don't have that cold of weather. So the wind chill would be much worse in the north than the south. But I do take some precautions. I'll if I have, let's see here, if I have some screen bottom boards, I'll take some cardboard and put it on top, just because I don't want the wind to blow and go right up into the cluster. I use metal fence posts with a tarp. That's actually a good option. Tarp, with metal fence posts. That's a good option. Helps with the heat a little too. Yep. Absorbs heat. What Lee said, yep. Hay bales, straw, a lot of options. That's the thing about beekeeping is you have a lot of options. You have to decide what you want to do because you have options to for mite treatments. You have options for wind blocks. You have options for feeding. And speaking on feeding, I plan to feed over winter. I'm probably gonna over winter. I'm gonna do what I usually do. I usually do fondant. So what I've a lot of times have done, if you're really not familiar with me as a beekeeper, kind of my ways of things, is I would use candy boards, with candy on top, and put them on top and let the bees eat it. I'm probably gonna do that a little bit this year. But what I did last year was I pretty much did the candy boards, but what I did was I took my half tool and scraped pieces off of that candy board and put and kind of equalized it throughout all the colonies because one colony didn't need all of that of the candy board. So I was kind of trying to distribute it. Homemade fondant rocks, that's kind of what I do. Homemade fondant, candy board and fondant, pretty much the same thing to me. It's homemade fondant. What I usually do is I'll mix water and sugar really thick. You need it thick. You can't do 1-to-1. That won't harden. You have to. What would it be? People have specific recipes, and I don't do anything specific. So I don't do it like 3 cups sugar to 1 cup water or anything like that. I just kind of eyeball it, and I have a feel for it because I've done it a lot of times that I can just kind of eyeball it and get it to the right amount. And then I'll put it on the colonies. They can eat it over winter. But this year, I have some hive life fondant, which I'm going to use. I'm really looking forward to using that because I've heard a lot of good things about it. I just haven't used it. So it's going to be real interesting to see kind of how my bees like it. Finding is 5 sugar to warm water. I guess I got close to what most beekeepers do. It's really, really thick. But thanks for checking in, Frank. If you have any more questions, feel free to put them in there in this final 10 minutes of the chat. And I'll answer them late here. So I do want to put out a couple things real quick. So in the right corner, I really like this new option where you can put QR codes. Really interesting, and I'll utilize that more. If you are watching on a computer, you can just take your phone and kind of put that on there, and that will take you to my email newsletter. Really easy. All you gotta do is enter your email and submit, and you can be able to receive emails from my email newsletter. I don't spam with stuff. All I do is pretty much send notices out on Monday for my live stream. And I want to start doing some like email newsletters where I kind of start putting out like some what would it be like newsletters of kind of what's going on in the bee world. I kind of want to get to that eventually. I think that'd be something beneficial for everybody, and I'm kind of in the works of getting some of that done. So if you are a beekeeper who knows somebody who has like a new product and who needs to surface it out to the beekeeping community, something that can benefit beekeepers like me and you. If you know somebody, or if you are somebody who's watching who, um, who have a new product or something out there, some things to say, feel free to reach out, and I can try to, we can try to work something out there. Something I'm kind of in the works of. I've been in the works of it for a couple of months. Probably not gonna be in the next couple of weeks. It'll be just a little bit. I'm still kind of in the works. If you sold bee products, what would you like to sell? I'm glad you mentioned that. That's actually a good topic. Selling stuff, beekeeping products. I've thought about that before, and then eventually I do want to sell stuff. Kind of supply stuff. It'd be another way of earning revenue, and if I did that, I could use a lot of that revenue to put out to my beekeeping operation. Something that I kind of want to think of for the future in the next couple of months. What would I sell? Well, I guess you got a lot of options. You can sell woodenware. I like to build stuff, so I'd probably sell woodenware. The only thing you have a problem of with woodenware, especially nukes. I don't know about boxes. It just depends, but you have a lot going into it. A lot of going into woodenware because it's heavy. You have to pay for shipping, and then a lot of times a lot of smaller suppliers, they don't buy in bulk because they don't know if they're going to sell that much. You know what I mean? Bees, probably. Bees, I'm just not that big yet for bees, but selling bees would be the most simplest thing I would think, because all you gotta do is make some splits and put it online and let people come and buy. Make sure there is a lot more into it. You have to make sure your nukes are worthy to sell. You don't want to sell beekeepers bad nukes. That's just kind of dishonest if you sell them nukes that won't survive. But as long as you keep them strong, they're packed. I think that would be a great way, a great income source. Like Gary said, bees, less time and more money. That's right. That's what I was thinking too, because you get more money from bees, and you don't have that much time into it. You make your splits. Because if I were to sell something, it'd be nukes. Probably not any packages. That's for more bigger operations, commercial operators. Like Man Lake, some of those places that most beekeepers buy their supplies from. And also going with the email newsletter, I would, if I'm going to put out newsletters out there to try to get beekeepers out there who have businesses and stuff like that, I would like to do that, because I would like to find some businesses, some smaller beekeeping businesses who work hard for their businesses and put it out there for you guys to, because that'd be a good thing if there were some beekeeping suppliers out there who are smaller, who are not as big as Man Lake and some of these bigger beekeeping suppliers, which are still good, still great, still great businesses and stuff, but always great to support your smaller businesses, because a lot of the smaller beekeeping businesses are going to put more time and effort into your order because they want you to buy again. You'll see that. Brian says that he would like to sell queens next year. I've thought about queens too. Queen rearing, man, queens are worth a lot. Mated queens are worth a good amount of money. Let's see here. I'm just gonna kind of go to Man Lake real quick. I'm gonna look and see what the queens are worth. I'm pretty sure a mated queen is worth like $45. I see some of them go for $50. Depends on the depends on what you're getting. Depends on Russian, Italian. Oh wow, look at here. I'm looking at one right now. Florida raised Italian queen bee is $69. $69 for a Italian queen. Don't know if there's anything special about that, but then you have a purebred Russian queen bee on here that's $78. A southern bred Italian queen bee that's worth $62. It might be the time of year. I don't know. I'm sure they're not selling more, but maybe. I'm just looking at the later prices since it's a little bit later in the year. You got a southern bred Russian hybrid queen bee, $65. You got a lot of you can earn a lot of money from queen rearing. I see why a lot of beekeepers do it. Yeah, very interesting. Good source of income too. My most expensive queen was close to $100. Hygienic Caucasian. Lions have got. Let's see. Lions have got the million accessories to buy and no heavy lifting. I've heard of Lions House before, and I think I've covered them before too. I believe on the channel, maybe a couple months ago. I do want, maybe that'll be a topic for an upcoming beekeeping chat, is about different hive styles. That might be something to talk about. That'd be kind of interesting. I think a lot of people would be interested in that, because you got a lot of different styles out there. I use only Langstroth hives, and I know a lot of beekeepers like Layens hives. I can always get Layens hives mixed up with like Worry hives and other hives too. There's a lot of options out there. I think Langstroth hives are good for me. You're able to use them good, but there's a lot of them out there. A lot of different styles and out there for beekeepers to decide from. The Carney / Caucasian hygienics were $60. Expensive queens living in second cheap gear. Yeah, man. Queens right now they're pretty expensive. $60. I mean, last time I checked, I thought that last time I checked, I was just looking at Man Lake. I don't know about anywhere else, but last time I checked, I think it was like $50. Maybe it's late time of the year. Probably so. And queens are just kind of going up too, because a lot of work. I guess a lot of work goes into it. I would say a lot of time goes into it, because you have to plan, you have to time it right. Because if you don't time it right, it's just sometimes won't work if you don't time it right. That's queen rearing does involve a lot of timing. Plus the shipping costs. Yeah, maybe they're factoring in that too. That's what I was just about to ask Gary. Will a spinner hold a Layens frame? That's an idea. If one of y'all answer that, I really don't know. I guess they do make a Layens extractor, like Russell said. They make a Layens extractor. So I guess they have specific extractors out there that holds those lens frames. Now, will a lens extractor hold a Langstroth frame? I wonder about that. Maybe. Whichever type of hive you use, a person needs to stick with it to minimize equipment needed. My exact thinking too, Gary, because you know whenever you're using that's why I'm only using Langstroth. I really don't want to go into these other hive styles, because then if you go into another hive style, you have to have different equipment, and you have different extractors if you want to extract those frames. Just kind of a lot going in there, so I kind of like to personally stick with one hive style over kind of going back and forth. Well, we're already right here at 7 o'clock, and I appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to try to go through some of these comments here, and we'll talk for a quick second, and we'll kind of get kind of close to wrapping things up. I know you can't use standard frames in lanes. Okay, I was figuring that you probably can't, because the dimensions are different. Yeah. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Very interesting discussions. You know, queens, hive types, and a lot of different things. So I think next week's chat, I think the topic will be hive styles. Since we're kind of ending out on hive styles, maybe next week that will be the next chat. So, like I said, I think I'm gonna start doing them at 6 o'clock. Go to 7 tonight. I really like this time. I really like it, and I think it's gonna be the time from now on. And we'll kind of allow people to now go over to some other chats if they are live. It'll be a little bit better of a flow. So thank you all so much for checking in, Brian, Richard, and everybody who watches later. Now, before you leave, make sure you click the thumbs up button. That really does help with the YouTube with this live stream. I really do appreciate that. So make sure you click that thumbs up button, subscribe, share the live stream out. Really appreciate y'all. That's right. Keep beekeeping fun. Thank you all, and we will see y'all next week.